When your wife says she needs more communication, it doesn't always mean what you think it does. I'm a bridge builder. Sounds romantic, right? Actually, it means I'm constantly on business trips across the country. New projects, new cities, sometimes very beautiful places. My wife Rachel always stayed home with the kids. She ran the household, drove the kids to school, cooked dinners. The perfect picture of a middle-class family. I'm Victor, and I thought everything was under control. Several times Rachel hinted, maybe you could find something closer to home? We barely see each other. I waved it off. Stable salary, interesting work, what else do you need? Now I understand what else was needed. One day we finished a project ahead of schedule. Usually I gave advance notice of my arrival, but decided to surprise her. I unlocked the door with my key and saw Rachel in an evening dress, makeup done, ready to go somewhere. Are you going somewhere? I asked, putting down my bag. She flinched slightly in surprise. Didn't know you'd be home early. Made plans with my girlfriends. Want a ride? No, you must be tired. Get some rest. I was truly exhausted from the road and fell asleep almost immediately. The next morning Rachel went for a run. I happened to glance out the window and saw a man in athletic wear stop near our house. They jogged off together down the street. Well, I thought she found a running partner. That's good, right? A couple days later I asked my older daughter, has Mom been running with that guy for long? Oh, with Larry? Already a month, maybe more. He's the new neighbor. Larry. The name stuck in my mind. That evening I casually asked Rachel, who's that guy you run with? That's Larry. He bought the house at the end of the street. We met on a run. At first I calmed down. I'm not home, she needs communication, friends, it's normal. But something nagged at me. Maybe her tone? Or the way she looked away. That night I couldn't sleep. Lay there staring at the ceiling. Then I got up, walked over to sleeping Rachel, took her phone and went to the kitchen. My hands trembled as I entered the code I already knew, our younger daughter's birthday. Messages with girlfriends, work chats, nothing special. Then I found Larry. Opened it, and the ground fell out from under me. Can't wait for Tuesday. Kids will be at school until 5. You're incredible. Yesterday was magical. I missed you too. Victor leaves Thursday. I read and read, scrolling back. The messages became increasingly explicit. They weren't just running together. There was something serious between them. Maybe even more than I thought. I spent the rest of the night in the kitchen, thinking through a plan. Emotions boiled, but I forced myself to think coldly. I needed proof. Real proof. Not just messages she could delete or explain away. The next day I tried following her when she was going somewhere. But lost her car in city traffic. So I bought a GPS tracker and attached it to her car. Now I could drive at a distance and see her every turn. A few days nothing interesting, store, school, gym. But I read the messages every evening and knew it was just a matter of time. Then I decided to provoke the situation. I need to go away for 2 or 3 days, I told Rachel several days in advance so she'd have time to plan everything. Again? She sighed, but something else flashed in her eyes. Relief? I also installed a hidden camera on the house facade when the kids were at school and Rachel drove off shopping. On the day of my supposed business trip, I left in the morning, sat in a cafe 2 blocks away, connected to the camera and started waiting. Then I moved to my car, drove around the neighborhood. Eventually rented a room at a nearby motel because sitting in the car became unbearable. The next day Rachel took the kids to school and drove in an unfamiliar direction. I followed her through the GPS app. She stopped at an Italian restaurant downtown. I parked and walked up to the window. They sat at a table by the window. Rachel held Larry's hand across the table. They were laughing. She looked happy, the way I hadn't seen her in a long time. I felt something break inside, but forced myself to return to the car and wait. I filmed on my phone everything I could. After the restaurant they drove to a hotel. I documented every step. They went inside together. I didn't know the room number, but the purpose of the visit was obvious. Sitting in the car across from the hotel, I realized 10 years of marriage were over. I was just the last to find out. I wanted to take everything. The house, the kids, leave her with nothing. Hired a lawyer, showed him photos, videos, messages. This is good, the lawyer said. But judges can be unpredictable. He turned out to be right. At the hearing, the judge listened to me, looked at the evidence and said, the fact that 2 adults eat together at a restaurant or enter a hotel is not irrefutable proof of intimate relations. We're a no-fault divorce state. Property was divided equally. The kids stayed with Rachel because I was constantly on business trips. I was given visitation rights on designated days. The irony of the situation hit me later. The job that destroyed my marriage now took my children from me too. I had to change everything. I found a position at a local construction company. No business trips, lower salary but stable schedule. Now I see the kids every Tuesday and Thursday and on weekends. Rachel and Larry are officially together now. I see them sometimes when I pick up the kids. They look happy. That's the most painful part, understanding that she found with him what I couldn't give her. But I needed time to process everything that happened. The first weeks after the divorce were the hardest. I moved into a small apartment on the other side of town. The silence was deafening. No kids running around, no Rachel's voice from the kitchen, no family dinners. Just me and 4 empty walls. I threw myself into work. The local construction company was building a new shopping center, and I volunteered for extra shifts. Anything to avoid going back to that empty apartment. My coworkers noticed I was different, quieter, more focused, almost obsessive about the work. One evening, my buddy from the old bridge building crew called me. "Victor, man, heard about the divorce." "I'm sorry." "Yeah, well, life goes on. Listen, I got some information you might want to hear. Remember that project in Denver last year? When you were gone for 3 months?" My stomach dropped. "What about it?" "Larry was working there too. Different company but same site. I saw him and Rachel at a restaurant there. Thought it was weird at the time, but figured maybe she flew out to surprise you or something." "When was this?" "September. Maybe October. You were still married, right?" I felt sick. The affair had been going on for over a year. Maybe longer. All those business trips, all that time I was away building bridges, Larry was home building something else with my wife. That night I went through old credit card statements. Found charges I'd ignored before. Hotel rooms in cities where Rachel supposedly visited her sister. Restaurant bills for 2 when she claimed she was alone. Spa treatments, new clothes, all charged to our joint account. She'd been using our money to fund the affair. But that wasn't even the worst part. I found a charge from a jewelry store, $1,500. I never got that jewelry. I called the store, asked about the purchase. They found the record, a men's watch. Engraved. "To Elle with all my love, R." She'd bought Larry a $1,500 watch with our money. I sat there in my apartment, surrounded by papers and receipts, and something shifted. The sadness turned to cold, calculated anger. Rachel wanted to play games? Fine. I could play too. I started digging deeper into Larry's life. Social media, public records, everything I could find legally. Turned out Larry had been married when he started the affair with Rachel. His wife, Jennifer, worked at the same company he did, a big tech firm in the city. She was actually his supervisor's supervisor. High up in the company hierarchy. More digging revealed something interesting. The company had strict ethics policies. Relationships between employees had to be disclosed. Affairs that created conflicts of interest were grounds for termination. And having an affair with a married woman while being married to someone in upper management? That was a big no-no. But I needed to be smart about this. Going after him directly would look like revenge, and judges don't like that. I needed to be patient. I focused on being the best father I could be during my visitation days. Tuesdays and Thursdays I'd pick the kids up from school, we'd go to the park, get ice cream, do homework together. Weekends were fuller, museums, hiking, movies, whatever they wanted. I never spoke badly about their mother. Never asked them questions about Larry. Just focused on being present. My daughter Sarah, the older one, was 13. Smart kid. She noticed things. "Dad, are you okay?" she asked one Saturday while we were having breakfast. "I'm good, sweetie." "Why? You seem different." "Sadder." I put down my coffee. "Divorce is hard, Sarah. But I'm dealing with it. And I'm happy when I'm with you and your brother." "Mom seems happier," she said quietly. "Is that bad? That she's happier without you?" The question hit like a punch to the gut. But I kept my voice steady. "No, honey. It's not bad. If she's happy, that's good. People sometimes grow apart. Doesn't mean anyone is bad or wrong." But inside I was screaming. Yeah, she was happier. Happier with another man. Happier spending our money on him. Happier destroying our family. I kept digging into Larry's background. Found out his divorce from Jennifer was getting messy. She'd discovered the affair around the same time as me, but she was fighting harder. She had the resources, big salary, expensive lawyers. Larry was about to lose a lot. Then I found the golden ticket. Larry's company was doing a routine ethics review. Every employee had to submit disclosure forms about relationships, conflicts of interest, outside business activities. The deadline was in 2 weeks. I gathered everything I had. Photos of Larry and Rachel at the restaurant. Hotel check-ins with timestamps. Credit card receipts. The GPS data showing Rachel's car at Larry's house during work hours. Text messages I'd screenshot before Rachel changed her password. I didn't send it to his company directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, I created an anonymous email account and sent everything to Jennifer, Larry's ex-wife. Included a simple message: thought you should know the timeline of your ex-husband's affair. This might be useful for your company's ethics review. Let her decide what to do with it. I was just providing information to someone who had a right to know. 2 weeks later, I heard through my daughter that Larry had lost his job. She mentioned it casually during dinner. Mom's been really stressed lately. Larry doesn't work anymore. Oh. I kept my voice neutral. What happened? Don't know. Something about his company. Mom had to get a job. I found out later she was working at a grocery store, cashier position. The house at the end of the street that Larry bought? Turned out he was renting it, and when he lost his income he couldn't keep it. He moved into a small apartment. Rachel eventually moved in with him, but it was cramped. The kids complained about not having their own rooms when they visited. Meanwhile, my life was stabilizing. The local construction job was actually better than I expected. Good pay, normal hours, and I was home every night. Started going to the gym, lost the weight I gained from years of fast food on the road. Joined a divorced dad support group, which sounded pathetic but actually helped. Met a woman named Claire at a construction industry conference. She was an architect, smart, funny, had her life together. We went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but it was nice to feel normal again. Sarah noticed. "Dad, you look happier." "I am, sweetie. Is it because of that woman you had coffee with? I saw you two at Starbucks last week." I'd forgotten how observant teenagers are. "Her name is Claire. She's a friend. But yes, having friends makes me happy." "That's good. You deserve to be happy, Dad." The simple statement from my daughter meant everything. My kids still loved me. Still wanted to spend time with me. That was what mattered. Rachel, on the other hand, was struggling. I'd see her at school pickups looking tired. The glamorous woman who used to dress up for her affair was now wearing discount store clothes and exhausted expressions. Larry was with her sometimes, looking equally worn down. Turns out being broke and cramped in a small apartment wasn't as romantic as secret hotel meetings. One day Rachel asked if we could talk privately. We met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. "Victor, I know things ended badly between us. That's one way to put it. I was wrong. I made mistakes. But I'm trying to move forward." "Good for you. The kids miss the old house. Miss having their own space. I was wondering if you could help with some money. Just until Larry gets back on his feet." I stared at her. The audacity was almost impressive. "Rachel, you used our money to buy your boyfriend a watch. You spent $1,500 of our joint funds on another man. And now you want me to help you financially?" Her face paled. "How did you?" "Doesn't matter. The answer is no. I pay my child support on time, every month. That's all I'm required to do. If you're struggling financially, maybe think about the choices that got you here." I left her sitting there. It wasn't satisfying exactly, but it felt like closure. Months passed. The kids adjusted to the new normal. They spent more time at my place as Rachel's small apartment got more crowded. Turned out Larry had a son from his previous marriage who started coming over on weekends. 4 people in a 2-bedroom apartment designed for one. My daughter asked if she could stay with me during the school week. Said she'd sleep better, have more space for homework. I agreed, went back to court, got the custody arrangement modified. Now Sarah lived with me primarily, visited Rachel on weekends. My son was still too young to make that choice, but I could see the same thing happening in a few years. Rachel was losing everything slowly. Not because I was actively destroying her life, but because actions have consequences. She chose an affair over her marriage. Chose excitement over stability. And now she was living with those choices. I ran into Jennifer, Larry's ex-wife, at an industry mixer. She recognized me from the photos. "You're Victor, right? Rachel's ex-husband?" "That's me. Thank you for the information you sent. It helped me tremendously in my divorce settlement. And it helped my company understand who they were employing. I just thought you should know the truth." Well, truth has consequences. Larry violated multiple company policies. The affair, the lies, using company resources for personal matters. He's essentially unhireable in this industry now. I nodded. Didn't feel as good as I thought it would. Jennifer continued, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry you went through this too. It's not easy discovering betrayal." "No, it's not. But I've found that living well is the best revenge. I got promoted last month. Director level. And I'm engaged to a wonderful man who values honesty. She showed me a ring, much nicer than the watch Rachel bought Larry. Congratulations, I said and meant it. You'll get there too. Just keep building bridges, relationships, whatever matters to you. She walked away, leaving me thinking about her words. Keep building. That's what I did professionally. Maybe it was time to do it personally too. Claire and I got more serious. She met my kids. They liked her, which felt like a miracle. She was patient, didn't try to replace their mother, just was herself. We moved in together after a year. A nice house with room for the kids, a backyard, space to breathe. Sarah loved it. Even my son started asking to spend more time there. Rachel asked for another meeting. This time she looked different, older, tired, but maybe more honest. Victor, I need to apologize. Really apologize. Okay. I destroyed our marriage. I was selfish and stupid. I thought I was missing something, but I was just bored and looking for excitement in the wrong places. Why are you telling me this? Because Larry and I broke up. He blamed me for his job loss, for his money problems. Said if I hadn't been so obvious about the affair, none of this would have happened. We fought constantly. He moved out last week. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no sympathy, just emptiness. I'm sorry you're going through that. I see you're happy now. With Claire. The kids talk about her. They like her. She's good to them. That's what matters. Look, I know I can't fix what I broke. But I want you to know I understand now what I threw away. You were a good husband. I just couldn't see it. I wasn't perfect, Rachel. I was gone too much, focused too much on work. But I was faithful. I tried. I know. And I'll regret this for the rest of my life. We talked for another hour. Really talked, for the first time since before the affair. She explained how it started, innocent at first, just a running buddy, then coffee, then more. How Larry pursued her, made her feel special, young again. How she justified it by telling herself I didn't care because I was always gone. But you did care, she said. You just showed it differently. And I was too stupid to see it. I didn't disagree. When we parted, she hugged me. I hugged back. Not as a husband, not even really as a friend, but as two people who once meant everything to each other and now were just co-parents trying to do right by their kids. The weeks after that conversation were strange. I found myself reflecting more on our marriage, trying to understand where things went wrong beyond the obvious betrayal. Rachel had been right about one thing: I was gone too much. I had prioritized my career over my family, believing that providing financially was enough. It wasn't. But that realization didn't excuse what she did. There's a difference between being neglected and choosing to betray someone. She could have left me. Could have demanded counseling. Could have given me an ultimatum. Instead, she chose deception, and that choice changed everything. Claire noticed my mood shifting. One evening, as we sat on the back porch watching the kids play in the yard, she asked about it. You've been quiet lately. Something on your mind? Just thinking about mistakes. Mine, Rachel's, how we got here. Regrets. Not about us. Never about us. But I wonder if I could have prevented it all. If I'd been home more, paid more attention. Victor, stop. Claire took my hand. You can't own someone else's choices. Yes, maybe you could have been more present. But she made the choice to cheat. That's on her, not you. I know. Logically, I know that. But still. Still nothing. You're a good man. You made mistakes, but you didn't betray anyone. You didn't lie. You didn't break vows. She did. I squeezed her hand, grateful for her clarity. Claire had a way of cutting through my overthinking, bringing me back to what mattered. Life continued to improve. I got another promotion at work, now overseeing multiple projects across the city. Good pay, excellent benefits, and still home every night. Sarah was thriving in school, talking about colleges. My son joined the soccer team I coached, and we bonded over early morning practices and weekend games. Rachel stabilized too, eventually. She found a better job as an office manager at a dental practice. Nothing glamorous, but it paid decently and had regular hours. She moved into a better apartment, one where the kids could have their own space when they visited. She started therapy, which she mentioned once during a custody exchange. It's helping, she said. Understanding why I did what I did. Not excusing it, just understanding. That's good, Rachel. Really. The therapist says I was trying to recapture something I thought I'd lost. Youth, excitement, feeling desired. But I already had something better. I just couldn't see it. I nodded but didn't respond. What could I say? The damage was done, the marriage was over, and we'd both moved on. Her insights came too late to change anything. Around this time, Sarah came to me with questions about relationships. Dad, how do you know if you can trust someone? We were in my garage working on her car together. She'd just gotten her permit and wanted to learn basic maintenance. That's a big question, sweetie. Why do you ask? There's this boy at school. He's nice, but his friends say he's dated a lot of girls. I don't know if I should believe him when he says he likes me. I put down the wrench and faced her. Trust isn't something you give automatically. It's earned over time. Watch what people do, not just what they say. Do their actions match their words? Like with you and Mom? What do you mean? Mom said she loved you, but her actions showed something different. Right. The observation hit hard. My 13-year-old daughter had understood something profound about trust and betrayal. Yeah, exactly like that. Your mom said one thing but did another. That's why trust is so important. Words are easy. Actions are truth. Do you trust Claire? I do. She's shown me consistently over time that she's honest and reliable. Her words and actions align. Good. You deserve that, Dad. We went back to working on the car, but her words stayed with me. My kids were learning lessons from my divorce, both good and bad. I hope they were learning the right ones. 2 years after the divorce, my life looked completely different. Claire and I got married. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Sarah was my best woman. My son walked Claire down the aisle. It felt right. Rachel came to the wedding. Claire had insisted on inviting her, saying it would be good for the kids to see their parents getting along. Rachel came alone, stayed briefly, congratulated us both, and left. It was awkward but civil. Progress. I got promoted at work, managing entire construction projects now. No travel required. Home every night for family dinner. Coaching my son's soccer team. Helping Sarah with college applications. Rachel found stability as an office administrator. Not glamorous but reliable. She got her own place, small but clean. The kids visited her regularly, and we worked together on parenting decisions. Civil, respectful, focused on the kids. Larry disappeared from our lives. Last I heard, he moved to another state, starting over. Jennifer, his ex-wife, had remarried to someone in her company, ironically the man who had replaced Larry in his position. She seemed happy from what I could tell through occasional social media glimpses. The revenge I'd planned, destroying his career, exposing the affair, felt hollow in retrospect. Not because I regretted it, but because the best revenge really was living well. Rachel saw what she'd lost. Larry saw what his choices cost him. And I found something better than revenge: peace. My daughter asked me once, during a late-night conversation when she couldn't sleep before a big exam, "Dad, do you still love Mom?" I love who she was when we were happy. I love that she gave me you and your brother. But no, I don't love her the way I used to. That person is gone. Do you hate her? No, honey. Hate takes too much energy. I'm just grateful for what I have now. I'm grateful too. For you, for Claire, for our family. Even if it's different than before. Different doesn't mean worse, sweetie. I know. Sometimes different is better. And she was right. This different life was better. Not perfect, no life is, but authentic. Built on honesty, trust, and genuine connection. Claire and I built traditions with the kids. Friday movie nights. Sunday morning pancake breakfasts. Summer camping trips. Holiday celebrations that blended our families together. Claire's parents became grandparents to my kids and they loved it. Rachel even started dating again about a year after her breakup with Larry. A guy named Tom, works in accounting, steady and boring in the best possible way. The kids met him and reported back that he was okay. High praise from teenagers. I felt nothing about her dating. No jealousy, no anger, no pain. Just mild curiosity about whether she'd make better choices this time. For the kids' sake, I hoped she would. The years passed. Sarah graduated high school with honors, got into a good college with a partial scholarship. My son became team captain of his soccer team. Claire and I celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary. Rachel and Tom got engaged. Life normalized in ways I never expected after that night in the kitchen reading those messages. The acute pain faded into dull memory. The anger transformed into indifference. The betrayal became just another chapter in my story, not the defining one. I ran into Larry once, about 3 years after everything imploded. I was at a coffee shop in another city, visiting a construction site, and he was in line behind me. We made eye contact. He looked different, older, grayer, defeated. "Victor," he said quietly. "Larry, I owe you an apology. Little late for that. I know. But I need to say it anyway. I was selfish and destructive. I hurt you, hurt Rachel, hurt my own family. There's no excuse." I looked at him, this man who had helped destroy my marriage, and felt nothing. No anger, no hate, just emptiness. Apology noted. Are we done here? Yeah, we're done. For what it's worth, I'm glad you found happiness. Rachel talks about Claire sometimes. Says she's good to the kids. She is. Good. That's good. We stood there awkwardly for a moment, then I got my coffee and left. Never saw him again. Didn't need to. The bridge builder learned to build more than physical structures. I built a new life, new relationships, new purposes. And unlike bridges that weather and crack over time, these foundations got stronger with each passing year. Sometimes people ask if I'd change anything knowing what I know now. Honestly? No. Because changing the past means losing the present. And my present, flawed, complicated, but genuinely happy, is worth every painful step it took to get here. Rachel chose passion over commitment. I chose rebuilding over revenge. And in the end, we both got exactly what we deserved. Looking back now, from the vantage point of a life rebuilt and strengthened, I see the pattern clearly. Marriage isn't destroyed by a single moment of betrayal. It's eroded over time, missed conversations, postponed connections, work prioritized over presence. The affair was just the final crack in a foundation that had been weakening for years. But here's what I learned: you can build again. Better this time, with lessons learned and eyes wide open. You can choose honesty over convenience, presence over profit, connection over comfort. The kids are the real winners in all this. They have two homes where they're loved. They have parents who cooperate instead of fight. They have Claire, who loves them without trying to replace their mother. They have stability even if it looks different than before. And me? I have peace. Hard-won, carefully maintained, deeply appreciated peace. The kind that comes from knowing you survived the worst and came out stronger. The kind that comes from building something real on the ruins of something false. Rachel will always be the mother of my children. We'll be connected forever through them. But she's not my wife, not my partner, not my concern beyond co-parenting. And that's okay. The bridge builder learned to build more than physical structures. I built a new life, new relationships, new purposes. And unlike bridges that weather and crack over time, these foundations got stronger with each passing year. Some nights I still think about that moment in the kitchen, reading those messages, feeling my world collapse. But then I look at my life now and realize that collapse made room for something stronger. Not perfect but real. Not what I planned but what I needed. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. The screen now displays a playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.